part is in the matter of Childers versus Shivers. Step forward.
Grant Childers is suing his ex-girlfriend, Christy Shivers, for money owed for a Pontiac G6.
Mr. Childers, how long did you and Miss Shivers live together?
18 months.
From when to when?
Probably November 2012 till May of this year. March of this year.
And how long had you dated before you moved in together?
About a month and a half.
So practically immediately.
First date.
When you met her, where were you working?
I own my own business.
What business?
Lawn care business.
So that's what you were doing. You were doing your own thing when you met her.
Yes.
And then you went to work for her father, according to you?
Yes, her and her father.
When?
I believe it was in December.
And what kind of work were you doing for the defendant and her father?
Dismantling cars and hauling scrap for them.
So totally different business from your lawn care business?
Yes, totally different business.
And when you moved in together, did you move into your apartment or her apartment?
No, her place.
So you moved into her place?
Yeah, and actually...
Stop. I'm just painting a picture for myself so I understand. Want to make sure that when I read this case, your complaint and her answer, that I was getting the gist of the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, at some point back in 2012, according to you, you and the defendant, who are now joyfully in love and making this home together, decided to purchase a car. You had a car, according to your complaint. She had a car. You both traded in your car, and this was in 2012, 2 years ago. Traded in a car for a presumably better car. And then you broke up in March of 2014. It was not an amicable breakup. I gather the car is titled in your name?
Both of ours.
Both your names. Great. So now you broke up. It's not an amicable breakup, and you want her to give you half of the payments that were made for the car for the 2 years that you had it as a couple, and half the down payment.
There's 11 months of payments.
11 months of payments. That's not happening. But I'm going to tell you what I suggest that you do. I suggest you sell the car. She'll give you half whatever she gets for the car.
That's my mode of transportation, and there was no
I don't
agreement.
care. You were foolish enough to buy a car with him. You were foolish enough to put his name on the title. If it was your car, sell it. He needs the money.
I don't need the money.
Fine. If you don't need the money, Mr. Childers, then...
It's a principle behind it.
Well, I'm not here to worry about your principles.
You're not. And here's the release. Here's the release for the car for her.
Fine. So now she has...
Now she owns the car.
Now she owns the car. Great, then we're done here. Thanks very much.
Actually, I want to sue him.
Just a second. Let me tell you what your counterclaim is worth. A zero. You live with somebody for 2 years, and you say, I lent him money for this, and I lent him money for that, and I lent him money for this, and he promised he'd pay it back to me, and he didn't pay it back to me, and now you're no longer a couple. I'm not interested. Goodbye.
Parties are excused and you step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm happy with it.
I'm glad he didn't win.
I was living with her. I was in love with her.
He's a liar and a cheater.
You know, I just wanted this done and over with.
I hope he leaves me alone.
Never has to talk to me again.
Forever and ever.